Hello everyone. Sorry about that. Can you hear me? So first of all, thank you Samir and Connect Insights team for inviting me here, and thank you all of you for joining us. It would be a pleasure to talk to you. Today, we are going to talk about a very simple product which can actually help you improve your customer experience. In fact, convert the experience into relationships in a very, very simple manner. And in fact, we'll also get into some of the new use cases which are coming up in the industry from a messaging point of view. So while they bring up the slides, you would agree with me if I say that majority of your customers, or most of them, would be discovering your brand on a lot of Google properties, may it be Google Search or Google Shopping or even Maps and a lot of other properties. Now just imagine, let's say I'm a consumer and I'm trying to buy a credit card, or let's say I'm trying to buy a phone, like let's say a Samsung phone, and I'm on Google Search trying to figure out a credit card, and I like your brand, and I have a very silly question that I want to ask, and if you answer that question, I would buy the credit card. And in this particular moment, if I'm allowed to actually talk to you or chat with you, if I'm actually allowed to talk to you or chat with you, that would be a fantastic experience, right? So what we are trying to do is with Google Business Message, we are actually trying to solve for this particular consumer need, wherein when the consumer is trying to discover your brand across Google properties, can there be a chat channel and a unified chat channel that the consumer can actually use to talk to you? So that's Google Business Message for you. And what we have done over here is we have made the messaging channel very, very easily discoverable for the consumer. Just to ensure that you differentiate it with other messaging channels which are not internet based. I just wanted to call out that it's an internet based channel, because a lot of consumers and brands get confused on this particular bit. The other thing is, along with that, we have kept it very simple. So it's an API based channel. What it means is that if you already have a chat channel and you are supporting that particular chat channel with a chat bot or a live agent, and let's say you're working with Connect Insights as a partner, you can easily connect that particular chat channel as in from a chat flow point of view with Google Business Message. Very, very easy to do that. And lastly, it provides you with a asynchronous communication possibility with the consumer. What do I mean by that? As of now today, when a consumer is actually chatting with you, let's say on your website or various other ways, if the consumer drops off, many a times you don't have the possibility of actually reaching back to the consumer, or the consumer doesn't have a possibility of reaching back to you. In this particular case, as soon as the consumer chats with you on Google Business Message, the messages are stored on the Android messaging app. So the consumer can reach back to you, or the consumer can simply search for your chat channel. They will find it on Google search and they can chat with you. On the other hand, if you want to talk back with the consumer, we allow 30 days of re-engagement possibility. So what it means is that from the last day when the consumer actually chatted with you, for the next 30 days, you can actually reply to the question that the consumer had asked you. Now you'll be curious, how does it look? And I can see a lot of you actually trying to search for it on phone. Please do that. Try searching for a couple of brands, you'll find the chat channel. This is how it looks. We have enabled the chat channel currently on Google Search. That's from a pre-sales point of view. We have enabled it on Google Maps, both on Maps and on Place Sheets. We have also enabled it on Google Shopping. So if you are a retailer, you are selling products, on Google Shopping also now you have a chat channel. Along with that, what we have also done is, we have extended the chat channel to be enabled on your first party digital assets also, which means you can actually convert this chat channel into a URL and you can put it on your website along with the chat widget, or you can put it on email, you can put it in messages, you can convert it into a QR code, put it in your store for reviews. Sky's the limit. It depends on you what you want to do with it. And lastly, we have put the chat channel also on customer care queries, and we'll talk about that a bit in detail in terms of how it's helping brands. One thing to notice over here, and that would be a question for you, is that if there are so many entry points, let's say there are 5 entry points, does it mean that as a consumer I'll get 5 messages from Google? That would be really irritating, right? So what we have done is we actually unified the entire thing. So for a consumer, it remains the same message. whether I enter from search or shopping or maps, whatever my intent be, is it pre-sales or post-sales, for the consumer, the message remains the same for lifetime as a unique communication from the brand. And this is where if you have enabled website, email, or other entry points, again, the communication remains unique for the customer. And when you plug in this unique messages or unique channel from the consumer with the capabilities that, let's say, Connect Insights has, you can get a unique view of what the consumer is talking to you and respond back to the consumer. So that's how you can actually create like a beautiful relationship with the consumer in the long run. Let's also look at what are the kind of features we have provided in this particular chat channel. Broadly, you can understand that the features are very similar to any internet-based chat channel that you might be using currently, but what we have changed, couple of things. One, we have provided quick reply buttons. So instead of typing, you can just have buttons. So you can actually create like a beautiful flow for the consumer in terms of buttons. The consumer can just tick, 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 and then go ahead. What we have done is we provided option of having carousels. Now you can use these carousels in a very creative way. It can be used, so carousel means just a image plus text plus like a link. So you can convert this into like an offer. You can convert this into a product. You can convert this into a particular communication, or you can convert it into like a simple thank you, or it's your birthday, hi, what's happening. We have also allowed a possibility of seamlessly transferring to a live agent. So what we have noticed is if you are actually chatting with a brand, many a times it has to be a very seamless transfer between a chatbot to answer the questions quickly, but at the same time a live agent, because many times you will have a lot more questions like a detailed or specific question which a live agent can actually answer. So that particular capability we have enabled. You can also integrate it with payment processors. So what it means is that you can have like an entire e-commerce built on top of the channel. And lastly, we have enabled secure OAuth login. You might have done this, right? One-click sign-in via Gmail. So you can actually enable one-click sign-in via Gmail on this particular chat channel. And once the user is signed in, basis the user, you can actually respond back in a customized way. Let's say the user has questions around what are my loyalty points, etc. The user signs in, then you can connect it to your CRM. You can respond back in terms of these are your these are the loyalty points remaining in your account. Next, I think what I wanted to do was really share with you some of the top use cases. What we have realized is user-initiated messaging to a business is still new, it's evolving, and I think a lot of you had questions around what's happening around AI and all and how we can use it. So user-initiated messaging is still evolving and the use cases are evolving. We wanted to share some very interesting use cases which a couple of brands have been using over the past couple of years, and we have been working with them very closely. So the first use case which I wanted to share with you was on pre-sales, and this is regarding a retailer who has offline presence and has stores. So we have enabled the chat button on maps, and in this particular case what Samsung has done is that anyone who comes to maps and actually clicks on the chat button, over there they have worked on what would be the intent of the user. In this case, the intent of the user would be they want to know about the latest offers, or if there are any new launches from the brand, or the product catalogs, and the most important thing, call to action being connect to the store. So you can actually enable such options via very, very high intent entry points like maps. In this case, what you can do is the fallback can be a live agent, wherein the initial template can be you answer a couple of questions quickly that this is the offer, you can check out the catalog, etc., and try to figure out what is the product the user is interested in. And once you know that, you can connect the user to a live agent. One thing that we have noticed is consumers who actually click on messaging or try to message are very, very high intent. And most of the times there are like 2 or 3 questions that they need to be answered, and they are almost about to make a purchase. So I think these are the options you can use to actually drive them more and more towards the low funnel. The second use case which I wanted to share was again pre-sales, but in this particular case the pre-sales is more about online selling. So the first one was selling in the store. This one is when you are trying to sell online. So you might be familiar with Google Shopping. You might have seen, you search for a smartphone, you see this a lot of shopping products over there, and you try to figure out which phone you want to buy. What we have done is, let's say I'm searching for a phone I got through Apple iPhone 13, and I can see different retailers over here. Let's say Purvika is a retailer, Flipkart is a retailer, Chroma is a retailer, and I have certain specific questions about the product, or maybe offers, or maybe availability. In this case, there is a chat button available for Purvika. I can immediately click on chat and start chatting with a live agent. So the Connect Insights team can help you connect this chat with a live agent, and that live agent can ask me, okay, what's your question, and can immediately answer the question. If I'm expecting delivery in a day, or under a day, or under 10 hours or something, the live agent can actually answer whether the retailer provides that or not, and can make a sale. So this was the second use case. The third use case, which I wanted to share with you, was around having the chat widget on your website. So in this case, when a user is on your website, the use cases are mostly around either sales or service, and in a lot of cases, the user drops off and it becomes very difficult for the brand to reach back to the user. In this case, what Lenovo has done is they have enabled the chat button on their website, Buy Lenovo website, and over there they have enabled a chatbot to begin with. The chatbot helps the user understand exactly what product the user is interested in and narrow down on that particular product, and then it can be connected to a live agent. In this case, while the user is actually chatting on GBM, even if the user drops off, had it been a website chat, it would have been difficult for the brand to reach back. But in this case, with GBM, the brand can reach back, saying that, hey, you are interested in this particular product. We have an offer, or do you want us to schedule a call with you? The last use case which I wanted to share was on post-sales, and this one is like one of my favorite use cases. It's super interesting. Just imagine and just think about it for your own brand also. As of now, if you type customer care for your brand, mostly a phone number will show up as of now, right? What you can actually do is you can convert this experience into something like this, wherein it shows a phone number, it shows a chat channel, and it shows a website link. Now, in this particular case, what we have observed is that brands who have enabled the chat channel, typically more than 20% of the calls are getting deflected to message. So the first benefit that you immediately get is a lot of call deflection to message. From a consumer point of view, the advantage that they get is, one, they have 24/7 support, and you might have seen this, right? Lot of calls that you get, or lot of consumers want to call you after 6 p.m., 9 p.m. I mean, the kind of lives we have, mostly we get free after 9 p.m. and then we are like, okay, this is my to-do. Now let me call this brand and all. So even at that point of time, the consumer can actually message and ask a question or register a ticket or something like that. And again, the response rate becomes faster because the user doesn't have to wait for the entire IVR. It can be like quick. There can be options, click, click, click. Under 30 seconds, you can get the service request raised. And also, it's asynchronous. So for example, I get on messaging, and again, let's say 10 p.m. I get on messaging and I raise a request and I don't get a response. Tomorrow morning, I can check back that, hey, I had raised the request, what happened? So this is one entry point I think you should definitely enable as soon as possible. And Connect Insights team can actually help you do this very, very easily. I'm sharing one case study. We have a lot more case studies, and you can actually check them out on our website. But this one is with Federal Bank for the customer care, the post-sales one, wherein they actually saw that the CSAT increased by 25%, and also the volume of messages that they were getting increased, which is where I was talking about that there is a lot of call to message deflection that we have seen as soon as you enable messaging. We also do a CSAT survey within messaging. That's where we got the number. So we do like a random CSAT survey within messaging, and we share the report with you. So you also get a understanding of how the consumers are viewing the channel. Now you must be wondering what's the onboarding process. That's the best part. The onboarding process is extremely simple. All you need to do is you need to fill up a form or a registration details with your partner. Second, you need to pick and choose. So in fact, you can actually choose whether I want to be present on pre-sales or post-sales. It's not necessary that you enable the entire thing in one go, because in a lot of cases, organizations, the teams are different. So you might have control over post-sales, might not have control over pre-sales. So it's completely up to you. You can decide, I want to enable this particular entry point. You also have a liberty of enabling live agent, chatbot, combination of both. But we recommend that do have a live agent as a fallback for sure. That's when we have seen the CSAT score to be much higher as compared to only chatbot. Then once you do this, it goes for verification. The verification process is very simple. We'll send an email to you just to check whether you have allowed Connect Insights to actually enable it. Because we will be enabling the chat on your brand searches, right? So it becomes important for us to check it from a verification point of view. And lastly, once it's verified, you can launch the chat channel. And a lot of brands have already started using this particular chat channel. And the most important thing that happens is as soon as you turn on the chat channel, you get a steady flow of sessions over there. So please think through what the journey is that you want to provide before turning it on, and reach out to the Connect Insights team. They can help you on board. So that is it from me, and I'm here if you have any questions, we can chat later. Thank you.